The men accused of shooting 4 women on Friday are pleading with him to turn himself in.
Marcos Delgado has been on the run since Friday, sparking a massive manhunt involving law enforcement from the local all the way to the federal level and even in other states. And now his family wants him to stop running.
I would rather see my father alive than dead. APD could get him, and I don't know the situation, what'll happen, but it's possible he won't surrender.
Leticia Montoya there is Marcos Delgado's daughter. She is begging her father to turn himself in. Take a look at this. More than a dozen bullet holes cover the back door to the auto detailing shop near Candelaria and Vassar. It's where police say Marcos Delgado started shooting Friday afternoon, killing Anna Vigil in what police call a jealous rage. 3 other women and a dog were also shot, and all should survive.
We just want him to surrender, and we want him to know that we love him and that we're behind him 100%. And his kids need him. Do the right thing.
The women say they have not spoken to Delgado since the shooting and do not know where he is. Police say Delgado is considered to be armed and dangerous. If you see him, do not approach him, but please call police. And we have learned Marcos Delgado is no stranger to breaking the law. He's been arrested a number of times in the past for drugs, resisting arrest, and domestic violence.
He was arrested about 10 years ago. Other than that, there is not anything that would lead any person to believe that he would be a threat to any person.
That was obviously before police say the shooting happened. Again, police are asking anyone with information about Delgado to please give them a call. And make sure you stay with us here on News 13 for full coverage of the manhunt for Marcos Delgado, including the latest on the search for him. We'll keep you updated both on air and online at KRQE.com. Liz?
Well, thieves landed a crippling kick to a nonprofit in Santa Fe that raised money all summer long to start up a new mixed martial arts after-school program.
It's just sad, man. I just can't believe that somebody would steal money from an after-school care program.
Yeah, this is just awful. Tim Valdez there is the president of New Era Foundation. He says his school, New Era, has helped keep kids that are coming from the streets, keep them off the streets. Now they're launching an after-school program for about 35 kids. But $17,000 in cash collected in fundraising efforts the past few months has just disappeared.
When I went to go get the money to put it in my safe, I grabbed the receipt bag, left the money inside my glove box.
All of that money was supposed to go to the new program for computers and gasoline to transport kids. Valdez says the program will still open. It'll just be limited in what it can offer the kids. Police do warn local banks to keep an eye out because some of the cash was Canadian.
Albuquerque's public school district says it will hold a special meeting to talk about its investigation into Superintendent Winston Brooks. We have learned the investigation into Superintendent Brooks is centered around his wife, but the district is releasing few details about this. Remember last week, APS President Annalie Maestas says she hired a private attorney to investigate the superintendent. That after she says board members talked about what she called serious personnel issues with Mr. Brooks. Last November, Brooks called 911 after an argument with his wife at their home in Cedar Crest. During that call, Brooks told a 911 operator his wife was very angry with him and things got physical. The call was made on the last day of Brooks's 3-day suspension from APS. He was suspended for tweeting controversial statements about Public Education Secretary-designate Hannah Scandera. Meanwhile, updated numbers from the Public Education Department show teachers here in New Mexico are rating slightly lower than first thought. This under the new controversial evaluation system. According to the PED, nearly 73% of teachers were evaluated as effective, highly effective, or exemplary, compared to 76% when the ratings first came out. 23% were rated minimally effective and 4.2% were deemed to be ineffective. The PED says the difference here covers an additional 5,000 teachers because of late data coming in from schools. It also says the change reflects the district's correcting some data as well. Liz?
Campers around New Mexico say parts of the state's national forests need some help. The Santa Fe New Mexican reports Forest Service budgets are on a steady decline. In the last decade, officials say they have had fewer staff and less money to handle problems. The agency has even cut back on trash pickup and cleaning up the campsite bathrooms. Reducing these services means some spots have been closed. Officials at the Santa Fe National Forest say they are working on a 5-year action plan. New Mexico is now home to the Southwest's first urban national wildlife refuge. On Saturday, Interior Secretary Sally Jewell, along with members of New Mexico's congressional delegation, announced the completion of Valle de Oro National Wildlife Refuge. Local, state, and federal leaders helped to gather funds to buy more than 500 acres in the South Valley to create the refuge. The site will become one of the largest outdoor classrooms in New Mexico.
This will be probably New Mexico's greatest classroom for kids, and these lands that have been farmed as a dairy for many, many years will be turned into a wildlife refuge. It'll clean the water, it'll provide habitat for species, and it'll be a great learning laboratory as it evolves over the years with the help of the community.
Jewell is calling on Congress to approve permanent funding that would go to a federal program that will contribute $6 million to the wildlife refuge.